Fiddlesticks, gosh darn it, dang it, shoot darn. Welcome to another episode of Dude Soup. It's 2:09. Let's take it away. That was a take.
It worked.
I'll take it. It's fine.
I like that you could only think of 5 where you're like, I'll say all the not curse words I can think of. You said 5 words, 2 of them were darn.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other
I blanked out immediately.
Curse words that are not curse words?
well curse words
Yeah.
that are not are not bad.
You're probably wondering why we're talking like this. More on that. But first, before I introduce my guests and everything that we do for this show, Dude Soup, let you know that this podcast is sponsored by Mack Weldon. You can get 20% off your entire first order by using promo code DudeSoup20. Stitch Fix is also another one of our sponsors. You get 25% off when you keep all your items in your box at stitchfix.com/dudesoup. And Robinhood. Robinhood is giving listeners a free, and watchers, a free stock by signing up at dudesoup.robinhood.com. So more on that later. But first, let me introduce my guests. I'm your host, Adam Kovic, joined by James Willems and Bruce Green. How y'all doing?
Hello. It's good to see you. Who are you bowing to?
Everyone out there in TV land.
They can't see. They are. I don't know. People watch this podcast, but it's on another monitor.
It's on another monitor. Yeah.
I always wonder what is the visual.
Well, I feel bad because Omar's over there switching cameras. No one cares.
Omar's killing himself
He
making
could
the show
knock
perfect.
this
He's trying.
camera over. He was framing it up. It could just be on the ground. No
Every
one knows.
time we're catching up to the Austin team, I'll catch what they're. I used to listen to the Rooster Teeth podcast more than I watch it, but every once in a while I'll see, what are they doing? They're doing like picture in picture now.
Yeah, they're doing cool stuff.
So now it's like, when Gus talks to Bernie or whoever's on the other couch, it's two heads looking at each other. It looks like CNN.
Yeah.
Get
Like
on.
this?
Oh shit!
Oh, Adam!
Omar.
Hold on, wait. Where's
What?
Adam?
Oh,
What
no, hold on.
Where?
Yeah,
Tell me.
look this way. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's
Adam,
it. That's it.
How are things going over there?
look up, Adam.
In TV land.
Nope, other way. Other way. There you go. That's it.
This is really good for the audio listeners that we
Hello?
just explicitly stated are the primary.
So, yeah, sorry, audio listeners. They're looking at each other in a two
Yeah.
picture thing.
You may notice, I always apologize to the audio listeners because I am an audio listener of podcasts typically. I almost never watch
You only
podcasts.
care about yourself.
Yeah. You know what? I think of the little guy, all 80, 100,000 or whatever they are. But you're probably wondering why we haven't said a single curse word yet. Has it been 30 seconds?
fuck.
Fuck, shit, cunt, whore,
Yeah,
It's 28 seconds.
dick bag. So a video came out recently where YouTube is telling us they're clearing up why you can't curse in your videos, or basically why you can.
They're trying to be specific. I appreciate that.
But they're explaining to you why you're being demonetized.
Yeah.
So turns out it has always been this way, and they just want to make things more clear. But in typical YouTube fashion, this brought up more questions than answers. I think anytime you try to explain the robot in the cave, people start to ask more questions. You go, but why? It's very simple. There's just it's a Twilight Zone reference. So YouTube channel Creator Insider released a video with special guest John, they didn't give a last name, from the monetization policy team at YouTube, I assume. That
I'm sure that's where he's from.
That
Because
makes more sense.
these are all YouTube employees generally.
So they broke down all those really hard to understand facts for us knuckle dragon folk who curse a lot, and they told us the do's and don'ts of YouTube's "No, we swear it's always been this way" explanation. So
No, they don't swear is the problem.
Hell,
more like,
Hey, everybody out there in TV land.
no, that's not a hot take. That
It
doesn't
wasn't a
count.
hot take. That's just hot.
Oh,
If
okay,
he doesn't
all right.
get to the Fieri, then it's just considered hot.
there is good news. Words like heck, darn, and choke me, daddy. Also, gosh darn it, are still A-okay.
As a sugar pine, it'll be all right.
Choke me daddy's fine. Yeah, that's
It's totally, well, I mean, it's not one of the curse
choke
words.
me daddy. Yeah, those are all fine.
So more crass language is much more taboo, but basically it's when you say it, like we were kind of alluding to. Apparently it's more damaging to your video if you curse in the title, thumbnail, and in the first 30 seconds of a video,
That makes it easy.
which once again is pulling the curtain back a little bit of how the YouTube robot works.
I'm glad they did it. Like, I really appreciate the fact because
Yeah.
they actually I've been on emails with YouTube where they've said that.
Yep.
They've said at the very beginning of the video, you said these things or you did these things. That's why it's demonetized. And so I've kind of gone around like Sugar Pine mainly, and I've been like, hey, so try to keep those things, like tone them down a little bit, even like just for the first 30 seconds or minute of a video. And then once you get into the video, it's totally fine.
It almost feels like you're now misleading people. You're purposely trying to trick them into getting your video thinking it's all cool and fine. And sparkly, and then you get us, these haggard, 30-year-olds cursing at you. But YouTube wants you to sort of
We save
lie.
our Rule 34 for the end.
End of the video.
Which is why
That's the end of the video.
they can't come after us.
We don't
for
start
Oh,
with
fuck!
it."
Look at her fuckhole.
Yeah, no, you don't start with dessert. That's
No.
just silly.
I have
You're gonna
before.
ruin your meal.
My stomach didn't like it.
So also, just to reiterate, any video promoting hate speech.
Oh yeah. There's,
Or,
there's the screenshot.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. Oh, those are fun words. Shit, bullshit, bitch, whore, hoe, slut, son of a bitch, asshole, douchebag, fuck, motherfucker, cock, dick, pussy.
I still don't understand what idiot would look at this and think, well, I can't say bitch, but at least I can say son of a bitch. Why is that even on the list?
Well, no, you're right about that. And
Or fuck and motherfucker.
my only word that I want to be able to say that doesn't make any sense. You should be able to say ho because of ho 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 like Santa Claus.
That's great. Christmas videos.
And
right?
and you should be able to say douchebag because douche is a real thing. There's nothing, and douchebag's not a bad word. Is that a bad word? Douchebag?
No.
Come on.
No.
That's
And
not a bad
generally
word.
people that are called douchebags are douchebags.
That's true.
It's accurate.
I'm more curious. What does the committee look like of people who come together and say, these are the words we would not like to see?
You know who it is?
them.
It's not even them. It's advertisers. It's definitely Johnson & Johnson and
Don't they
that
make
little girl who's
douchebags?
getting her
Ford.
pants pulled down, flashing her ass all over my fucking sunscreen.
it's
Little
Chevy.
harlot.
There you go. Yeah,
we
nice
gotta
job.
we need to just expand our vocabulary.
well, that is part of the problem, yeah.
I think that's probably what this has mostly exposed is our inadequate lexicon.
Well, I know
There you go.
when we can't think of what to name a character, we name it cunt.
I think we went through a lot of good names and settled on the best one.
I guess this brings up another question too. What if, what language does this count in? So if I say a word that in English is totally fine, but in another country it is a curse word or it's some sort of slang or a racial slur, does that now get demonetized because?
Puta. Puta. What does that mean, Omar?
It's like a bitch, right?
Is it a
You can't
bitch?
say that anymore.
I mean, they did it on Narcos.
Yeah, but they do everything.
Here's the thing: foreign language, no one cares about anyway. The advertisers aren't going to monetize that shit anyway, so it's probably a wild west out there.
I know from our side of things, that question does come up from time. It's been coming over the last 10 years of how do we advertise better or how do we sell our content in other countries? So remember the whole Inside Gaming Brazil thing?
Oh yeah.
That was all thing. They're like, hey, could you guys learn another language and then do the news again in Portuguese? They're like, no. Okay, we'll just hire some lookalikes.
John Cena did it.
What did he do?
He learned Mandarin because WWE wanted to expand into China. And so
Really?
he learned Mandarin. Now he speaks Mandarin.
Good for John Cena.
Fluently
Yeah,
or
he's fluent.
phonetically? Call him right
No,
now.
He's fluent. He's fluent.
Order some takeout for me.
From him? He doesn't make the food. He just speaks with the chefs who are also probably Korean.
So anyway, that's really it for the story.
Well, there's more to it, and like I was saying before, it shed some light. Or you said it shed some light, but I want to say there's a combination of robots and humans.
Sure.
Looking at every single video, and a lot of times that manual review. There's a thing that you can do on YouTube where if you get demonetized, you can request a manual review, which is supposedly another person.
I still think it's a robot.
And I'm pretty sure it's another robot.
But it's a robot where they've actually built the upper torso.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a server and a blinking light.
Yeah.
It's like a robot that's just sitting at his desk, but he still just analyzes it the same way.
Yeah, it looks like Lincoln from the Hall of Presidents or something.
yeah.
But they cut its legs off because it kept trying to leave. And then
I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's such a weird place, YouTube, because the more that we work on it, I mean, the more that we feel like we know it, and then they change things, and it doesn't really help. It doesn't help anybody feel good about putting videos up on YouTube.
Well, so also I think part of it too is you can come out with this video and say, all right, here's the things. Now go have fun. Except you still need 1,000 other videos for all the other rules that you have changed that you are not telling anyone about, or all the different stipulations. Not that it matters anyway, because we're in a constant John Henry struggle between man and machine, where if they make a video and say this, then you're going to see an influx of videos where in 31 seconds, everything's going to hit the fan. Like now you're just going to have a longer header of some YouTube channel with 12 subscribers at the beginning. And then he's going to come and go, cockfucker, shit piss, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to slam that bell.
Yeah.
Like it's always this struggle where people, then the channel gets struck and they go down, they fall down just like John Henry died. By the way, he lost that. That's my favorite American fable, is the story of John Henry. And
I barely know it.
Because he challenges the machine.
Oh.
He digs a hole faster than a machine can dig a hole.
But the machine wins?
But like barely, and then he dies.
But
the machine's still going.
But the machine can do another hole. So in my book, the machine won that battle.
What was the movie Tall Tale, where like they all come together? It was the original LXG.
The original LXG.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like Paul Bunyan, John Henry, and like Wyatt Earp.
Okay.
All hang out. I'll have to look it up. It's a real movie.
All made up people, like Wyatt Earp.
No, that was the weird part. It was sort of like, why him? Like,
I've never heard of that.
they're like, the old made up characters. I'm like, that's a real person. I'm like, probably not.
Nope.
Okay.
Didn't
good.
exist.
The lesson learned there is that YouTube always wins. the machine always wins.
It's funny to watch these things that are just cesspools for the most part try and like clean their waters. Like they're like, no, Coca-Cola, don't leave. Like well, we can clean this up. We can clean it up. But it's just like ducks covered in oil, screeching. It's just terrible. There's no way to salvage it.
Well, it's a machine. It's an AI. It's an algorithm that YouTube can never admit is broken. It's always right. That's sort of the thing. It's sort of like, remember when Gmail was in beta? We forgave all its mistakes because we're like, well, it's in beta. It's been in beta for 10 years. Ha ha ha. YouTube's always in beta. They just can't ever admit that because the system is always changing and the algorithm is always advancing and becoming different or worse. We still see people getting their own videos claimed by themselves or other people who don't exist, or people who do not own the actual copyright. YouTube can't come out and say it's a work in progress. They just have to go, we have to believe in the machine because if we don't believe in it, it won't work.
Right. On the other side of this too, whenever I talk to people at YouTube that are always, they're usually trying to be more transparent. They're trying to tell me kind of like, hey, avoid these things and you guys will be fine. I really appreciate that attitude because it's something that they haven't had in years past, and now they do. And then the more that I drill down with them, the more they go, look, we're trying to fix things. We're really trying to get better at this. I'm really sorry.
The phone rings. Yeah. I gotta go.
No, that's exactly right. Because then usually like they'll get cut off by somebody that walks up and they're like, yeah, no, YouTube's great. Everything's great. Don't worry about it. But they're like, really, we're really trying.
There's some poor guy in a server room with duct tape trying to fix everything while people's videos are getting claimed and not getting claimed.
Right before the podcast, James and I were talking about how humanity is a cesspool.
Yes.
And YouTube is a mirror to that cesspool.
Yes.
And so we're always humanity's trying to make themselves better in certain cases, but a lot of the times it's just garbage. We're all just shit. And YouTube's trying to improve. They're trying to improve, humanity one video at a time. But the majority of humanity, the people that are putting videos on YouTube, they're doing whatever the fuck they want. And it's gonna reflect in the content, it's gonna reflect in the algorithm, and it's gonna reflect with advertisers, and that's what happened back in, was it 2017 or whatever, when we all got fucked.
Well, I mean, when even YouTube tries to curate it and they make their own rewind and everyone hates it, does that show that maybe YouTube's out of touch with its own platform?
But I think they have to be, because everyone uses that platform. And if they were in touch with that platform, they would be terrible.
They'd be successful.
I mean, like, no offense, but sometimes you have to be better than the people that are there to consume it.
It's not what I would call that rewind that they made.
No, I think they're misguided.
Tone deaf.
I think a lot of time they're misguided about what it is. They have this idealist. It's basically like when a game dev is like, we're coming out with this new game, and it's so simple. All you have to do is find a friend online, and the two of you can solve this puzzle together. It's in uniting strangers online. You're like, have you played a game online? That doesn't work that way. That's not how it happens.
Somehow they trap you in a closet.
They call me all of those words. They call me all of those words, hack my game, and then leave with my money.
Correct. Yep, that's right.
Real quick, I just want to let you know that the synopsis of Tall Tale is a young boy draws on inspiration for legendary Western characters to find the strength to fight evil, fight an evil land baron in the Old West who wants to steal his family's farm and destroy their idyllic community.
So what characters are in
It was Pecos Bill. Pecos Bill.
I've heard of the character. I don't know what
But
Pecos
is that
Bill
it?
does.
Are there other characters?
Patrick Swayze plays Pecos Bill. Oliver Platt is Paul Bunyan. Roger Aaron Brown. I'm not sure. He was probably played a president. Something. It's John Henry. Nick Stahl's in it. He's Daniel Hackett. He's the main character.
All right. He's was from Terminator 3
Terminator
and
3.
Sin City.
And then Catherine O'Hara was Calamity Jane, who was a real person. Pecos Bill may have also been a real person. I'm not really sure.
Was a real person too.
And then there's a character named Zeb.
Against the evil Zeb.
Zeb might be the bad guy.
I think he probably is the bad guy.
Yeah. Roger Aaron Brown.
Nobody watched this film.
I only saw the
Hey, I saved you
trailers.
some time.
I'm unfamiliar with the character who played any of these people. So anyway, but what I really want to let you guys know is that this episode, Dude Soup, is brought to you by Mack Weldon. We've talked about Mack Weldon nonstop for the last few years because they are a fine sponsor and have been a fine sponsor for many, many years. James, you wearing your Mack Weldons?
Yep.
I'm wearing mine. As always, I don't have to check anymore. I just know I'm wearing them. But Mack Weldon makes all sorts of clothing. I especially love their underwear, but they make, as they call, men's essentials, and they're elevated by technical innovation in the sense that it feels really good on your junk.
It does.
Yeah, it's great. So Mack Weldon will be the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, sweats, and more that you will ever wear. I need to get more of their socks, actually. I have about 3 pairs of them. They are fantastic, especially now that it's getting colder. They are somehow warm without making your feet sweat. I don't know how they
I
do
don't
that.
know how many of those, and I want one.
You should do that. They also have their silver line of underwear, shirts, and socks that are naturally antimicrobial, which is a big word that I got to learn by doing these ad reads. So they basically eliminate odor, keeping you fresher for much longer. So go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your entire first order using promo code DUDESOUP20. Once again, that's MackWeldon.com, 20% off your entire first order. Use the promo code DUDESOUP20. We can't recommend them highly enough. Please check them out. And thank you, Mack Weldon, for sponsoring this podcast.
They sponsored Dude Soup for almost as long as it's been around.
I feel like
They're one of our first sponsors.
this podcast wouldn't exist without them putting sweet underwear on our bums. So thank you. We can keep talking about YouTube, or we can move on.
What else
to
you got?
much more. I wanted to check in on you guys. How you doing?
I'm okay.
I'm fine.
No, I mean, like, really, how you doing?
I'm pretty
Like, are you
tired.
good? Because everyone thinks we're like, this is the end.
Into what?
End of what?
It's the end of Funhaus.
What are you talking about right
What?
now?
Why?
This is over?
Have you guys been following the internet? What's happening?
No, what's happening on the internet?
Well, the super best friends are no longer best friends.
Okay, yeah.
GameGrumps had to put out like a 17-minute video explaining.
That they're only going to do 8,000 videos
Yeah,
a week.
I mean, I love those guys dearly. They're like brothers from another mother, and that like breaks my heart when I couldn't even watch the whole thing. It was like these poor guys pour so much into their work, and they have to apologize for focusing on their own mental health. And I almost pulled some comments that I read. I didn't think it would be worth it to, but people who were upset at groups like that breaking up or taking a step back. But I just want to make sure you guys are okay because, celebrity deaths always happen in 3. So
Wait, who's the first and the second?
no one.
Are you going to die first, then me, and then him?
No, I'm saying like as a collective.
Oh.
People
I see.
are worried that because we've been working together so long, there's something brewing, right? There's some deep like resentment, something, right?
Well, you can't be confused as to why this happens. It's because you start when you're 20 something and who gives a shit, and why not work on something for 12 hours a day? Just churn out as much as you possibly can to build up an audience to try and make more money or whatever it may be, and just go crazy because who cares? And then you look in the mirror and you're in your 30s and you're like, I am so tired and I haven't lived at all for the last 10 years. But through the lens of the computer screen, it looks like you're living the most amazing life, except that like streamers stream for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So they're not living. They're sitting in that chair in front of a green screen.
It's as the great Cypress Hill
Oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say.
artist said at one time. It's a fun job,
It's still a
but it's
job.
still a
I
job.
thought you say to be rock superstar.
Well,
So when I was a kid, whenever that song came out, I must have been-
2001 or something.
Yeah, it must have been like 19 or whatever. I remember hearing them say that. I was like, fuck them. That's bullshit. This is way more fun than they're letting on. They're totally rich. They're famous. They've got everything they want. Why would they ever say anything like that? Now that I'm here, I'm like,
Well-
Cypress Hill had something to say there.
To be fair, a lot of groups are more rich than us. To be fair.
I guess maybe a lot of groups aren't as big as us. I think I I often forget about that. The pool is spread much more.
I mean, Super Best Friends was
pod.
as big as us, I think.
Were they?
Easily.
I know we had the two forward-facing. I don't know if I've ever even actually met them.
I met them once or twice, very
I
briefly.
think they came by our booth one time at Machinima, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm very shy around new people. You guys know that about me.
But GameGrumps,
Pants down around his ankles.
but GameGrumps, like they're huge, and they've been huge for years.
Yeah.
I mean, I had people ask me about this Super Best Friends thing, and I was always like, they probably weren't friends for a really long time. Like it was probably like a year or two that they were sort of like, we'll grind it out, but I don't want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
You know, like that's probably what it was.
That's like a very unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
People do that where it's like, okay, I hate you, but we're doing it for the kids. And like people doing all sorts of different like
marriage.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like I hate you, but let's do it for the money, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like you got it. Like let's stay rich. You think they love each other? Come
Well,
on.
no, I just think they may not hate each other. They just may have an arrangement. And I think a business arrangement can be fine.
Yeah.
Sure. No, and that sounds like that's what they were doing. But eventually, at
When
some
your
point,
channel is called Super Best
Right.
Friends and
Yeah.
it's just a business arrangement, though, at a certain point, you're like,
we're not best
that
friends.
seems
anymore.
stupid. Every time I log into this channel, I feel like an idiot.
But I mean, I have no real personal things to say. I had never met them, and I only
I don't
kind of
need-
knew
yeah.
about their channel. I obviously any creator online, I wish them the best luck, and I want them to do well and succeed because it's a tough business. But I know the sort of thing I see everywhere is a lot of people say like, "Oh, well, you should never mix friendship and business,"
I've seen that a lot too.
which is, I guess, kind of true. But you should still like the people you're working with.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I also think the GameGrumps situation is an entirely different situation. It sounds to me like they are just burnt out. Like, and it's kind of like us. We weren't necessarily burned out, but we had decided to change our focus at the beginning of 2018 when we were like, hey, we're going to make less YouTube videos, but we're going to focus more on our careers. We're going to focus more on the bigger stuff that we feel like is the next 10 years of our lives versus grinding out more YouTube videos. That's what it sounded like to me, a little bit more of a change of pace for them, where they're going to kind of scale back on their YouTube videos, but they're probably going to end up doing way bigger projects.
Because they've been doing touring
Yeah.
and they've been doing all kinds. They made a game. Like they've been
Well, they
doing
have
all kinds of
the
stuff.
show they did with Dan Harmon. I was always surprised at the amount of work that they've been doing the last few years anyway.
They've been killing
They
it.
were just doing it all.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you can't do it all.
Right.
You can only sprint for so long.
Yeah, and
I'll sprint forever.
No, you can't.
You can't. You'll die. And that's what I think that's what they reached. And it's the more empathetic people on the internet generally go, you know what? That's cool. That's good. And I'm glad when I see those comments, because I think the audience is getting a little more savvy about that and starting to understand where we are as creators. And if we need a change of pace, then they're like, you know what? Do that. They may not watch, the audience may not stick around, whatever, but at least you're not going to destroy yourself to do it.
I think for as long as this whole YouTube new media thing is a business model, you will see these phases. You will see the rise of certain things, especially in the middle class where we are. Yeah. Like PewDiePie will probably be around forever because at a certain point you make enough money that you can create a system in place where you can relax within the treadmill of your job. Mm-hmm. But there's a certain middle class where you're not making that much money and you don't have that much staff and you don't have that much help. And you're still trying to get noticed and you're still working very hard every single day. But you'll see a thing as like these young guys, he's 21 and he's a big bull energy. And then if he hasn't moved on to something more mainstream or whatever, and he's like in his 30s doing it, you're going to see this slowly. All right, guys, I got to chill out now because I have to actually live a life or something, you know? Mm-hmm. So,
well, I always kind of assume too that the viewership is sort of attained by you representing sort of the everyman, which is living everyday life, not being a multimillionaire. Like the minute someone goes, dude, my butler was so snooty to me this morning, right? Why is chat yelling at me? Once it gets to those things, like these Ferraris, man, these Ferrari dealerships, they charge you so much. You'd think by the time you get your fourth one, the fifth one would be free, but no. God, my life's so hard. Anyway, I'm playing Black Ops.
I mean, there's a certain like conceited aspect of it. Yeah. Like, but then there's another side where people who are making a ton of money, the DrDisrespects or whatever, they lean into it and they're like, oh, that's part of my character that I drive Ferraris. because he actually drives Lamborghinis, you know, like, or whatever it may be, you know. So then the audience wouldn't judge him if he came onto a video and was like, hey guys, I just got out of my Lamborghini and my supermodels were massaging my back.
Yeah.
And he was telling the truth, you know, like, because
I just always kind of assumed your survivability was sort of in line with how well you were able to relate to your audience. And once you can no longer relate, and then you sort of become enveloped in your own world and you start to believe that you're as big as you think you are, that's sort of when the fall begins.
Yeah, I think for the stuff that we make, which is like, it's some of it, most of it's personality-driven content. Absolutely. Like DrDisrespect is different because he's a character. So he doesn't necessarily have to relate to, in reality, he makes fun of the audience. And I think that's a really good spot to be in. So him and Ninja are sort of the opposites there on Twitch. Ninja's like himself.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, like, I'm just Tyler. I'm just a dude playing Fortnite. And, you know, I'm just like you and whatever. Eventually, though, like you said, if he starts to be able to not relate to his audience on Twitch, then it might get a little strange. But if DrDisrespect keeps going with his Ferraris and his supermodels, that's just who he is.
Yeah.
That's his character.
it's something about how genuine you are. I think less than how relatable you are.
We've seen it.
too, yeah.
We've seen it happen where some people become the character.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that was them all the time, and that was sort of a way to let it out. But then on the other side, there's like there's a great quote from Hank Azaria where he says like, he is so uncomfortable being himself. The only way he can be sort of a extrovert is play a different character, and that's why he thrives being in content or creating content, because he's never himself.
Yeah.
But I think I had this conversation with Elise. Like, I feel the same way. Where like myself, I'm just sort of a boring, normal person.
Yeah.
But when we all, fuck you, when we kind of get together and we're out at an event or whatever, I feel like, you guys all kind of lift me up a little bit.
Amp
And
it
it's
up a
like,
little bit.
yeah, it's a little easier instead of like, I'll just be out here and I'll dance. I don't know what you want from me, but I don't know. I guess part of that what I'm trying to say too is like, it helps if you have a support team,
Oh,
a
yeah.
support staff, instead of
A group, yeah.
it's just you and you're constantly second guessing what you're doing. And then you get to the point where I can't second guess, because if I second guess, I'll fail. So everything I do is right, even if I'm wrong. And that's not, I guess that's just a general thing for life, I guess.
Yeah, you hit on a really good point though. The being genuine. That's something that it's weird. It's two-sided, because what you were talking about, where if you're genuine but then you're an asshole, eventually that people get tired of that.
Do they?
I mean, I think eventually it's like, if you're being so genuine that you're just a dick now and like you're a rich dick who's genuine, I don't know that a lot of people are going to want to watch that. I mean, like, not that I've seen. There are a few. Usually, they like to see the train wreck. People like to see the Charlie Sheens and the like the
Elon Musk,
Britney Spears just explode.
Yeah.
But I don't think they want to go and watch their YouTube videos over and over and be like, oh yeah, you're part of my everyday life.
I always wonder how much of it is just sort of like, I enjoy the train wreck, or do I enjoy the person? It's sort of like watching Real Housewives of Atlanta or something like that. It's like, or maybe at some point the Stockholm Syndrome kicks in and you actually start to like these people.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's like Meerkat Mansion.
Just like
Yeah,
Meerkat.
that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Those animals are dicks. But either way, I just wanted to bring that topic up just because I think we're fine.
It seems fine to me.
I guess if people ever go, those guys are, I always see this every once in a while, like, they seem so tired. It's like, that's just age, I guess.
Well, I'm tired.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we might be tired because we're working a lot.
Yeah. I had this panic moment. FYI, ZQuil or any of those like those non-prescription NyQuil substitutes or whatever, the purple drink, they say non-habit forming, but they don't talk about the crippling dependency you rely on.
They mean chemically. Because Elise will sometimes take a ZQuil to go to sleep, and she's like, well, it's non-habit forming, and she says it tongue in cheek. But it's like, yeah, but if you use it to sleep
Every
and
day.
you like sleeping,
Yeah.
then it's going to form a habit. It doesn't matter. Like
I don't know what happened. It's like, I think if you get outside your rhythm in any way whatsoever, but like, I often think about that. I'm like, well, I can't come into work looking tired. I have to produce a podcast, and like, I'm going to be the host. And if you see me being like, hey, what's up? I didn't sleep last night. So I don't know, something like 1 a.m. I was like, I had already taken I've been trying to take less and less, because I'm like,
That's a good idea.
I need to wean off of this stuff. I was just wide awake, staring. And I'm like,
You know why? Because your body's waiting for the ZQuil.
no, well, I had taken a little bit already.
Yeah, but it's waiting for that dose. And so I'm serious.
Is it the other 3 ounces or whatever?
Because I don't know how often you take it, but it's like it's
Every
waiting
night.
for that around midnight or whenever you take it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it is midnight. It is now time for Adam to drug me. And then that's when you take it. And then it's like, okay, now time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So when you have some insomnia, do you actually just lie there with your eyes wide open?
No, I try to like close my eyes, but it's like
do the same.
I'm hyper aware of everything that's bothering me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
I'm like, "Ugh, next uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm not. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to stretch a little bit. Okay. Okay. Maybe I wanted the blanket wrong. Oh, one of the cats is sleeping on me weird. Like everything's weird. I got to get out of here. And then it's like,
It's running out of the front door screaming.
it helps the most when I have something I can focus on, like, oh, I have a project or I have, something I'm looking forward to, like, oh man, Infinity War tomorrow, can't wait. And then
Bang, and then you're
happy
gone, yeah.
dreams.
Christmas.
But then this one, I was like 1 a.m., took more ZQL, went to bed. Then I had nothing except for dreams about Wolfenstein.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
No, it was bad. It was like scary, like imagining like Nazis taking over America and being like, being a subject to that. And I was like, I woke up with this like feeling of dread. And then I watched the YouTube video of the evil chick from, I forget her name.
Wolfenstein?
The bag.
Well, her face gone.
Yeah, I got like half crushed over the first one, but the final murder scene or her like on live TV in Wolfenstein 2, which is awesome. And I was like, okay, there's something therapeutic about that.
Cathartic, yeah.
Yeah, I just had to see her head get chopped in half. So that was my day.
Or night.
That sounds like a psychological thing.
Fuck you.
I mean, it does. There's a certain aspect of like being able to like push things to the side, and then that's what puts people to sleep.
Well, you just fall asleep no matter what.
No, but I mean, I'm pretty good about knowing whether I'm awake because of anxiety or I'm awake because I'm physically not tired. Like I'm pretty good at figuring out the difference between them.
I think I'm just always anxious.
Yeah.
That's sort of my issue. And more so now, I don't know if I could talk about this, but the work thing we have to do right now where we all, it's basically Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Where we have to do these peer reviews.
Oh, yeah.
And nothing scares me and upsets me more than other people judging me. And it's like, hey everyone, write a review for each other. And I'm like, all I can think of is like, what did I do to upset Omar? Like what did I say to, like, what did I do? I haven't read anything that he's written about me. And I don't know. I just know that everyone who works here has to write something about me. And it's
everybody
freaking me out.
Not everyone. And I can tell you, Adam, that nobody is upset at you. I can be very.
That's not true. I haven't turned in my review.
I can be very, very honest with you, Adam.
Yeah.
No one's upset at you.
Am I allowed to complain to HR
About the
that their system is
Sure.
causing me anxiety
Absolutely
and
you
I'm
can.
losing sleep
You
because
totally should.
I'm worried about people judging me?
I think you should.
Okay.
I lose sleep having to judge other people. Getting all those things saying like, write a shitty thing about this person. I'm like, there's nothing shitty to say about
I want
this
to make
person.
sure Adam knows I don't like it.
You guys don't have to write something shitty.
That's true.
See, that's the thing is that like,
But how else will I get ahead in this world?
That's true. You have to put others down.
no, you don't.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's there's the beach and there's the water and your head's in that water and I gotta go for the beach.
No,
I'm just kidding. I don't care.
You guys don't have to do it. Like the thing, I guess like truthfully, you don't really have to do anything if you don't want to. Sending a complaint. I mean, sending a complaint is probably a good idea, just to tell them
Not
that.
just a concern of like,
Yeah.
hey,
It's a good idea.
I appreciate the utopia you're trying to build,
Sure.
but it has a inverse effect on me and it's very negative and like I'm like stressed out over this.
Okay. Well, you should tell them.
Okay.
I really think you should tell them.
So like I'm just saying all my stress related stuff is all external. In here, I'm happy. I'm fine. I like our day to day.
Yeah.
We recorded demo disc today and it felt great.
I also think there's a aspect of there's a difference between our system, which is and there's this huge block.
Yeah.
It's like here's a prompt. It's
formal.
Find something you hate about the person you're writing about, and then it's this block that's like this thing, and you feel compelled to fill it because like homework assignments
formal,
and like
yeah.
stuff like
It's
that.
really formal.
But you don't have to rip into it. It's just about feedback. So it's
Oh no, I'm not worried about finding negative things about people I work with. I think I have plenty. That's Omar's problem. I'm worried about what people have to say about me.
No, yeah. But I think if it was just a situation where you sat down and had a conversation with that person, it'd always be more productive than writing in this giant big
That's
white
anonymous.
block.
It's weird. It's weird because the whole thing is like there's a lot
It's
of
supposed to
anonymous
protect you
feedback.
because all human beings hate all human beings
Yeah.
and never want to discuss human being nature to other human beings. So
Anyway, that's my only issue. But everything else good? We good here?
Yeah.
We're okay?
Good, yeah.
You sure? You would tell me, right?
I would tell you right now.
Okay, that's good. You know what else I would tell you?
What?
You guys look great. But I look better because I'm wearing Stitch Fix.
All right, I put that in my
shitting on
review.
us. Yeah, I know. Just
One of my
right now
review.
to our face.
This is actually, I'm wearing most of it today. I got this a while ago. This is a nice shirt, got some nice pants. I wore this, I got this like last year, but I still wear it. It's good stuff. It is a very easy to use service that they have where they basically, you have your own stylist, basically dress you up, make you look good going out, and it's stuff that matches, which I really like. So it's a online personal styling service. You can get in the way. I don't care.
I'm really like, as soon as I just like at all straighten
Lean
my back,
forward a
I'm
little
in
bit.
it.
I would say, yeah. It's a styling service that finds and delivers clothes, shoes, and accessories to fit your body, budget, and lifestyle. Also, this belt. I don't know if you can see it. Shit. Sorry. I've had this belt for a year. There's no problem with it. There's like, it has been a great belt. I wear it every day. I forgot it came with a Stitch Fix.
No.
It's great. It's a fantastic belt. I never got to talk to them about them as a sponsor, but I think I got the most out of them. So I actually really like them. So it's really simple. You just go to stitchfix.com/dudesoup, tell them your sizes, what styles you like, and how much you want to spend on each item. It's pretty simple. You'll be paired with your very own personal stylist who will then handpick items and send them right to your door. It's all a mail delivery system too, which is what I love. I'm kind of busy. I don't really have time to go to the mall these days. So it's nice to have clothes just sent to you, and it's all personalized. So then you basically try on the clothes. You pay only what you want and love and return the rest. Shipping, exchanges, and returns are always free. So it is a very hassle-free service. There are no subscriptions required. Another thing I love about them. You can sign up, receive scheduled shipments, or get your fix whenever you want. So Stitch Fix styling fee is only $20, which is then applied towards anything you keep from your shipment. So I did that, put $20 down, went towards my entire outfit, which ended up being really nice, and I can mix and match. It's nice, but I'm wearing most of it today. So you can get started now at stitchfix.com/dudesoup, and you'll get an extra 25% off when you keep all items in your box. That is stitchfix.com/dudesoup. To get started today, stitchfix.com/dudesoup. And that's it for that ad read. That's really it. I want to ask you, Bruce, and James, is there anything you guys are excited about that we're working on this year? Because I know we kind of do our I know we can't talk.
Some of it we can't talk about.
Some things we can't talk about. Well, it's like example, we started demo disc today, which we haven't done in. When was the last time we did a
long
demo
time?
disc? Been like 8 months.
Azaria, Hitman,
And then also Wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Wheelhouse.
So it's probably 10, 20, 30-ish. So 30 weeks about.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Should we say? I guess we already kind of tweeted it. If you look into it, you can see the theme of
for
the
demo disc?
season. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2.
I love it.
Yeah,
It's
PlayStation 2
great.
is the theme.
Yeah, I was actually really stoked we're doing that again. Some surprises.
I've never owned a PlayStation 2,
You never will.
and I never will. You're right. So I don't know anything about most of these games.
So wait, what was your DVD player growing up then? Did you guys just buy a DVD player?
You didn't have a DVD player?
I mean, we had VHS, and we would record things on the VHS.
Right, piracy.
Yeah. And then after 1991, you did what to watch things?
DVD. I think we probably just bought a DVD player.
Okay.
Like it wasn't.
The only one.
we didn't buy one that was like I'm sure we waited years to buy one.
Yeah.
Like after the PS2 came out or something because we didn't have that. But yeah, like I only had Nintendo. I never had a console that played DVDs. So. Yeah.
I feel like because that was how I sold it to my parent, mom. Sorry. It was. I was like, it's a DVD player, and she's like, my mom was at the time like, oh, new technology. These DVDs are pretty cool. I'm like, it plays DVDs, and it's cheaper than any DVD player in the market. We should probably get it. She's
good
like,
sell.
you know what? We got it. And then she immediately was like, wait, you're just playing video games? I was like, put it in a bin, and then we just got a normal DVD player.
You fooled her. Fooled your mom
For a little
Got
bit.
her.
Yeah.
Look on her face.
I felt like that's how most people had a PlayStation 2. So it surprised me when Bruce said he didn't
No,
have
I was a
one.
good boy, so they just got me what I wanted.
Must be nice to be an only child.
How were your grades?
It's horrible.
Yeah, mine were great. So
Did you just ask your mom? She was like, yeah, done.
Well, I was good because my brother and I could coordinate.
Got it.
And so we would
Coordinate
be like,
gifts.
let's get
This would
just
be
get
for
us
you and your brother, right?
a PlayStation 2.
Yeah. I couldn't do that because I was an only child. So like that. So mine was always
a
a
big ask.
very hard sell.
It's a big ask.
Like, and I think probably when I was around the PlayStation 2 age, I asked for a drum set. And that was a big deal. That was a big deal.
That's a big, loud ass.
It was a big loud ask. You're absolutely right. My parents were like, "You're gonna play it," and I was like, "I will play it," and I did.
Where's that drum set now?
Oh, that's long gone. The one that I got that was like $200. That's probably in the trash. But
Where'd you put it in the garage?
no, I played it in my bedroom. My parents were like, they let me play the drum. Like they encouraged me to play music, and I mean,
Here you are, a musician.
I play all the time, every day. No, like I've been playing drums for 20 years. I played for my church for years and years and years. I mean, like I gave it all back and then some. So
There you go. Yeah, I mean that should get you into heaven, right?
Playing drums, yeah.
That's
right.
enough.
Yeah.
Playing drums for Jesus. Did
Yeah.
you have to play behind that glass?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, they did that at my youth church as well. It's too loud. That's the problem with drums. Too
So
loud.
You go and you draw devil horns. So where when they're
So that
looking
when
at you through, they see
the
you
devil
playing
horns.
devil horns.
Well, when they put that up, I would just play louder.
I always wondered that if and when I choose to have a child, if they come up to me and they go, Daddy, I want to blank. Do I go
Yeah, what do you say?
encourage or discourage? I don't know. So for me growing up, example, I got really chubby one year. So my mom was like, you need to do a sport. What's happening this summer? Football, you're playing football. No interest in the sport whatsoever. But yes, I was getting fat. So I had to go run around all summer. Come fall, and they go, okay, time to buy your gear and your it's $120 or whatever for your shoulder pads, get your jersey and all that. Mom's like, I'm sorry, what? It's going to cost how much?
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And like, thank God her boyfriend at the time was like, just pay for it. He's going to play football. Like, just let him play. And it was like, it sort of broke my heart because I was like, I played all summer and I was like, mom doesn't want to pay the fee. So I don't have the money. And then thankfully he was like, just pay it. And
that's
then
good.
same thing happened with lacrosse. I was a senior, played lacrosse. You need a lot of gear for lacrosse. It's like helmet, shoulder pads, gloves. And this one I had to buy it all myself and a stick and all that. But like, same thing. My mom was like, yeah, you do a lot
Whatever.
of this.
What is that thing called?
Stick.
Got it.
Stick with net.
All right.
Yeah. Well, you can have an attack or a defender, which is like the big long one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Or
then
the
there's the
goalie.
goalie one, which is
talking about
huge.
The goalie one is basically the
very
same
Quidditch.
thing that you to get leaves out of your pool.
Oh, it's one of those things.
My
the
best
pool
friend,
scraper?
my best friend
Yeah.
was a goalie, so I would always have to toss back and forth practice with him.
Yeah.
So I never actually played it except for the one time. I think I've told this story before. Or the one time, all of my friends played lacrosse, but I wrestled. And so, but there was one time where one of their players was hurt. And they're like, please. And I was like, I can't. And they're like, you'll fit. And so they strapped me up in pads and went
It's
out
like a
there.
Disney movie.
Yeah.
And I went out there and I played fine and got like 3 assists.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, this must be an easy sport. This is not a glowing recommendation of the complexity of lacrosse because I am literally pulled off the street.
We had some kid from the East Coast move into our town. And like, I lived in a very like white suburban town, but lacrosse was nowhere near it. But he was like, I'm going to bring lacrosse here. Cause some guy from his church was like, I'm from the East Coast too. I love lacrosse. Let's get these kids going.
It was like a time period there.
Yeah.
Where it was like lacrosse.
I was not in that time.
I was
must
just
have
sort of
missed
like,
this.
I was like, it seems like a weird sport. I'll try it out. I needed something to do besides play football because I hated football. So I was like, lacrosse looks weird. I'll give it a try. And it was way more fun, but super complicated. But no one knew how to play. It's just a bunch of people ramming into each other.
did.
just soccer.
You walked right into it.
It's just soccer, except you don't have to worry about the ball. You just hold it in this thing.
know,
And
but-
then if you do this, it stays in there. So then you just run by the other guy. Half of lacrosse is one dude getting the ball. They take a shot. The goalie hucks it to a dude, an attacker, who just runs straight up the middle and then puts it in the goal. That's lacrosse. And then they get so bored that they go behind their head, and then
yeah.
he scores it too.
Well, that was what was happening to us because we were, you
were bad?
We're Saugus High School.
Yeah.
First year, we're like, let's do it, and we're playing against all these like rich preppy schools down here in LA who've been playing for years, and they're just like, what the? So we just started running into people.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to
Because
do.
it's like that's actually the part where I think you would like it, Bruce. Is like it's sort of like rugby / football. Like you're sort of hitting people
It sounds like ultimate frisbee, sort of.
a little bit, but you can.
If you're constantly moving, ultimate
Yeah.
frisbee,
Okay, all right. You
it's
stop.
similar, but
Everybody
you stop,
stops.
and
Yeah.
you also have to be good at tossing a frisbee.
Yeah.
Lacrosse doesn't matter.
But it's also sort of like soccer, football rules,
Yeah.
where you have like the attack, the mid, and
okay.
the defenders.
It's like hockey. It's
or like-
field,
okay.
it's dude field hockey because
Yeah.
field hockey is an
and you can
actual sport.
shoulder check people when the ref's not looking. So
Right, yeah.
that's pretty good. That's what they told us to do.
In every sport, you can do that.
Yeah, but the ref doesn't see, won't hurt.
Yeah.
I forgot why we were talking about that, but that was
You're
just
talking about presents, PlayStation. You got football gear. You got lacrosse gear.
Pretty much, yeah.
you go.
That's the story. of
After chess club, I'd go to lacrosse practice.
You had chess club too?
It was an elective.
Oh,
I
good
chose
for
to do
you.
it because I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to learn how to play chess, and then afterwards we'd play Halo. So,
It's a different form of chess.
what, Halo?
Yeah.
Man's chess, the greatest type of chess. But then I didn't know if there's anything else you want to talk about. Big things coming. I know we're working on Arizona Circle still. James and Elise have been killing themselves. Then we're going to start filming hopefully soonish.
It's going to be
Within a year.
I mean, that's going to be the first half of this year is that. Like that's a huge project.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all the way up until July, August timeframe at least.
Yeah.
So
I know, I guess, yeah, things on the channel are just sort of staying the course. And then we have the sequential gameplays, I
the
guess.
channel's doing great, by the way. The channel is almost the highest it's ever been.
That's good to know.
Yep. The people are watching it more than ever.
We have some gameplays because again there was a shift in 2018 where it felt like we were like, oh well, what are things outside of Funhaus channel, things that we can do that'd be fun, things that aren't normally videos. But I feel like, you know, kind of following the path of Band Manager and the Matrix and stuff, we're like, well, how can we have fun on the channel too? What are fun things? And so like I know Elise has more ideas for
Oh, does she?
bigger things, and we've talked about it before, and we wanted to get into 2018, we just didn't have time with everything else that happened. But there's like some fun ideas that we have, because we don't want it to be like, oh, all these cool things or things that are somewhere else. We want to figure out fun things to do with the channel.
Yeah. I still want to do the, I guess, yeah, Funhaus TV live.
Oh, yeah.
Where like we take requests and do stuff. I've been setting it up. I just need to do it.
So it's like basically like a DJ. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna be DJing Funhaus TV.
Taking requests, reading comments, all that stuff. Also, I can't really talk about it, but I showed some of you guys we had a fan just send us like a Funhaus TV like reimagined thing that he did
yeah.
with like these like sweet lower thirds and stuff. And I was like, dear God, we have awesome fans.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So hopefully, hoping to implement some of that stuff too in there. I guess I have one final news story, but we honestly don't need to talk about it. Let me do this last ad read.
Yeah, do it.
Just let our listeners and viewers know that this episode of Dude Soup is brought to you by Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission free. So it's very non-intimidating. It is a very non-intimidating way for stock market newcomers to invest for the first time with true confidence. Something my friend Bruce knows all about. Confidence. Zoom in on Bruce.
There's no camera operators.
The whole service is very simple, very intuitive. It's a clear design with data presented in an easy to digest way. So a few pros about it. There's no cost or commission fee, like I said earlier. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood does not. They preach this system of basically to learn by doing, a learn by doing system where you learn how to invest as you build your portfolio. They even offer custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. I've also often wondered about that because my dad did investments in my younger days, and I was like, you get pings and notifications now.
It's
like,
really hard.
Man, I'm just used to the stock ticker. I don't know. So anyway, we are giving Robinhood is giving our listeners and viewers a free stock. So something like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. You can sign up at dudesoup.robinhood.com. Once again, that is dudesoup.robinhood.com. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. And with that, I believe we're at the end of the episode.
You know, one quick thing.
Yeah.
When I signed up for the Hollywood Stock Exchange
How'd that-
website,
yeah.
they also gave me a free stock.
Wait, what?
The Hollywood Stock Exchange.
The one that was
web-
at Machinima?
Well, yeah. Before it was at Machinima,
that's
and
what
I
we
was
moved
just a
into,
college
yeah.
kid who watched a lot of movies and had thought this website was cool.
It is cool.
Quickly
wanna see-
explain for those
it's a
who
great idea.
It's basically
It was
a
born
website
after 1991.
that used people's celebrities and movies popularity to determine its worth compared to other celebrities.
Such a great idea.
And you could buy shares in movies or celebrities, and then you would build a portfolio of value that would basically be assigned over time. So you could be like, oh, whatever.
could you make actual real money on it though?
No,
I think it was just a game. It's
Yeah.
you know what it is? It's fantasy football, but
Yeah.
but for Hollywood.
yeah.
Gotcha.
That's exactly.
But I gave you a free stock when you started.
Yeah.
My free stock? Bill Paxton.
Ah,
Not worth a lot right now.
dead, I
Yeah.
think, isn't
But
he?
at the
he die?
time,
Is it like a painter though that when they die, their movies become more valuable?
No.
I don't think so.
So,
I think
I
it's
mean,
based
let me
on
see
their
how much
inherent
Twister-
popularity.
See what Twister's doing. Twister.
See how Twister's doing?
I typed in Twister value.
Well, it made its money in 1997.
Okay. And
Let me check Box Office Mojo.
Because they didn't make a Twister 2, so
Let's see. How dare they?
they didn't.
Twisters.
I know they didn't make it.
Like, okay. Well,
think about all those times you were like, listen, that Ben Wishaw's got something.
Who?
Ben Wishaw,
I don't know who that is.
voice of Paddington. He just won like a Golden Globe.
is he in this movie?
No,
What?
he's in Paddington.
Oh,
I'm just saying,
Is he
like,
in Twister?
You're like, oh, well, there's this guy. He just keeps appearing in things. Or there's that one kid. Who's that one kid now who's in everything? He was in Call Me by Your Name, and he's in every movie now.
Look at that.
What's his name?
Oh my God.
He's
Hey,
the one that stars next to Armie Hammer, and I can't remember his name.
Yeah. It's got a weird name. It's like Chandelier.
It's like
It's like Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is,
Who
So
is
like,
he?
but he's like
He's in Call Me by
everywhere
Your
now,
Name.
and I think he's gonna be in like a Spielberg movie. But imagine if you had watched Edge of 17 and we're like, there's something about this kid. Bought some shares in him, then you'd be rich in fake money.
I worked in the real system of that briefly. I think I told you guys this before, but I did casting. It was
yeah.
like my internship.
You won't shut up about it.
It was great. No, but a lot of it was banking on so it was basically every sister from the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants came in and they all tried out for the same exact role because the casting agent was like, this movie is blowing up and all these girls are going to be huge. I think Amber Heard may have been one of them.
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively, that's the one. Yeah. So like, I think she's the only one who kind of did something.
Pretty good. Blake
Was
Lively.
America Ferrera in it? I think America
She was
Ferrera's in it.
She was in that show for a while.
I think she was actually. It was weird because they all came
Ugly
in.
Betty.
Ugly Betty.
And then also she's in Superstore.
She's in Superstore.
That's not bad. But how would that do in your Hollywood stock
I don't know,
exchange?
but I think about it this way: we would all potentially be penny stocks in this if it wasn't around now. We might be on it as low value but high investment stocks.
Hold on a minute. The YouTube Stock Exchange.
The YouTube stock.
We should make the YouTube Stock Exchange.
Oh my God.
And then we can buy or sell stock in PewDiePie or T-Series or
Yeah.
whoever else.
Oh my God. And you have to buy like
It'd be crazy
what's our
too because
currency
like
called?
someone says the N word.
Likes.
I think someone says the N word and people are trying to sell. Like sell.
I know, but imagine if Logan Paul went to the Suicide Forest. Other people
Again.
trying to sell.
Oh, part
Other people
two.
trying to buy.
Well, that's what I'm
They're
saying.
trying to buy.
But that's if
going
you
up.
see the price go down, you're like, that's it. He's done for it. But then other people are like, no, and they're like, he can only rise from here.
We got to make the YouTube Stock
okay.
Exchange.
Well, the problem is we just said it publicly, so someone's gonna make it, put it up on Steam for free, and then
Give it
Copyright.
to us. Yeah, we said copyright trademark.
once again,
When I shout copyright, it means
That's
copywritten, right?
As long as you slamp your hand
yeah,
out.
Copyright.
I love that all of our ideas require one of YouTube's services or Google's services. Like we created a game. It needs Google Trends to work, but we own it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, hold on. Twitch Stock Exchange.
That's also a thing that's owned.
oh.
and exists.
Yeah,
Wait a
I think Amazon might.
Copyright.
We should look into this. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of Dude Soup. Thank you, Bruce James. If people want to check out your guys' channels, where can they go?
YouTube.com/couchhop.
Yeah, and mine is youtube.com/PEWDIEPIE.
Okay. I wish these two little indies the best. I love them for being my guests. Thank you to our sponsors for giving the show live. Stay tuned. If you are a first member, we're doing a little post show. We'll look at some fan art, take some questions. Oh, great time. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow because we're a channel that uploads videos every day. So we'll see you then.
Goodbye, TV land.
YouTube.
Take me away, Omar.
There's an audience for it. Like, I mean, there's people that followed ECW back in the day, and they liked all that vulgar brutality. All that stuff was like their shtick. And once that went away, like there's an open platform.
I was
there,
an
pretty much.
NWO man myself.
I don't know that necessarily. I don't know that you would count